Welcome to the VA Home Advantage. I'm Marie Longjohn with the Longjohn Real Estate Group at RE/MAX. Our podcast today is dedicated to helping veterans, helping active duty military and their family members. I have Fawn White, who is an expert, I would say, at VA home loans. I'm going to introduce her here in just a second, but whether you're buying your first home or you're on your second home, you're definitely in the right place here with this podcast. Fawn White with Loan Depot. How long have you been doing this, my colleague?
So mortgages is all I've ever done. I started right out of high school in the mailroom, actually, kind of working my way up.
From the bottom to the top.
From the mailroom to manager. It's pretty cool.
I like that.
I had a great mentor when I was doing loans at Countrywide. I was a production assistant, and my mentor was Air Force brat. Her father was a colonel, so she's who got me really involved in the whole process of VA loans. How basically their service is their down payment, so they can get in with 100% fine, 100% no down payment.
Right.
So she's what really did it for me, and that was back in 2008, and I've just
2008.
Yeah.
So you've seen some markets. I've seen
the
things
shifts
fluctuate.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay. Well, good. I know I have the right person for this podcast today because we're going to get a lot of really great information from Fawn White. A couple of things that I want to discuss today with you, Fawn,
Yes.
and just kind of enlighten some of our veterans, some of our veterans' family members and so forth about who exactly qualifies and what is a VA home loan. I know that, and just for basic knowledge, they're obviously a government-funded loan.
Department of Veteran Affairs, it insures a certain portion for the lender. So the VA loan is part of their GI Bill.
Okay.
That they can take advantage of. Veterans are eligible and active duty military. It is a mortgage loan to help you buy a house. So you do have to have 2 years of employment history. So typically if you've been active duty for 2 years.
So it's a minimum of 2 years?
Yeah, it's a minimum of 2 years. And then there's certain service requirements that we can go through at a later time. If they get in contact with me, the golden ticket is just pulling their certificate of eligibility, and it's going to tell me everything about their service and what I need to know and what they qualify.
So that certificate of eligibility basically it's kind of like, just because some people we don't understand all of that, but sort of like a little report card that kind of gives you...
Yeah, it's based on the service members, like social security number, kind of like a verification of employment, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's through the VA portal, goes in, it shows if they're eligible, how much they're eligible for. It'll also tell us if they've ever used it before, if they're, this is getting a little deep, but exempt from the funding fee, because they do have a funding fee that we finance in. If they have...
And we can talk about that.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of
I don't want to get too
episodes in future podcasts that we can talk about different processes. But today I wanted to specifically ask you who qualifies for the VA loan. What is the VA home loan, and how do I get in with the zero money down?
Okay.
And how credit scores might affect that loan.
Okay, so let's definitely talk about that. So the Department of Veteran Affairs has made the VA home loan part of the GI Bill, and the people that are eligible would be veterans and active duty service members.
Okay.
The FICO score requirements, VA doesn't have one, so it's going to depend on the lender that you're going with. At Loan Depot, we lend all the way down to like a 520 credit score. I like to help my veterans improve that credit score by at least, 60 points, because I've been doing this so long, there's so many little tricks you can do to improve that credit score, and that's going to affect the interest rate that you're given.
So the lower the credit score,
higher the interest rate.
The higher the interest rate, unfortunately.
More risk, higher. So getting then less risky is a lower interest rate.
So then there kind of is a little bit of an advantage then, because correct me if I'm wrong, when you get a regular FHA loan, right, there's different credit score criteria.
There is.
So this is even a little bit better advantage. Maybe some VA veterans didn't know that they could. Or so I
Right.
guess it depends on the lender, you said, though, too, right?
It does. It does. And like I said, the golden ticket's going to be getting that certificate of eligibility. And then everything else are things we can overcome. We're not going to, like, there's compensating factors. We're going to bend over backwards to get our veterans into homes. So a lot of people will go and say they don't get an automated accept, so they're not able to do the loan. Loan Depot can manually underwrite the loans. And get acceptance. And I think we're one of the few companies that do go down to 520 FICO score. Most other ones have a higher credit score requirement, and that's the individual lender's requirement, not VA.
So you just said something about lender requirements, and Loan Depot does as low as 520, right?
Correct.
Okay. So there's other lenders that could do different.
They could say
depending-
620, and that's where people get
varies.
confused because they're told
Yes.
something and they're like, I don't have a 620, I can't get a loan. No, you can, because the Department of Veteran Affairs does not have a credit score requirement. It's an overlay from what lender you decide to go through.
Gotcha. And that lender specifically will have their set standards of what they can or cannot do.
Their
right?
guidelines, correct.
Guidelines. Okay. Gotcha. So I wanted to talk a little bit about qualification and who qualifies. You said 2-year minimum service.
Yeah, active duty. If you've been in for 2 years, we should go ahead and pull that certificate of eligibility, see how much service you've had overseas, whatever,
Certainly. So whether it be my first home or my second home, right? Because you're eligible as many
There's no
times,
limit.
as many times as long as I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not using up all of my credits per se. Is that bad language?
So you can
think
have, so there is a myth that you can only use your VA once, but which is untrue. You can use it as many times as you want. You do have to qualify. Usually you can go the conforming loan limit for the county or even above. Let's say we have active duty military that's they're doing their permanent change of station from let's say New Mexico to California. So they have a home in New Mexico that has VA financing. They can still get a home in California with their VA financing, oftentimes still with no down payment.
Really?
It's just going to depend on the county conforming limit. Sometimes they have a little. Sometimes they have a little bit because you're using your entitlement up in New Mexico. So you're going to see what the conforming limit is in the county that you're purchasing in to see if you have enough for 25% entitlement. If not, that's going to be like your down payment, maybe a few $1,000s, maybe 5%. It's just we're going to do that calculation. But we've done quite a few in this exact same situation that was able to do 100% because LA County, is a high loan limit. It goes all the way up to 1.2 million.
I do want to touch on those little points too, because we're getting into words that maybe some of us aren't very familiar with, conforming. And no, you're talking lender lingo, and I like that because when you want to purchase a home, you definitely want to have the right lender that understands the language, the terminology, the certificate of eligibility. Some lenders, they've never done a VA loan. Realtors also, they don't know how to write a VA offer. So that's important too. Who you work with definitely matters.
Definitely
right?
matters. It's huge.
So you were saying about the 2-year employment, who qualifies and whatnot. So now I'm going to change a scenario really quick.
Okay.
Let's say that I am helping somebody who was married to a veteran. Okay. And she is a widow, right? So does she get any benefits? And if so, if she's never used it ever, they never used it to buy a home, and now she's thinking about it, that he's passed, how does that work?
I love that question because I've had that exact experience happen. We had a widow. She wanted to move out of her retirement home into Cal City, and she was able to use her husband's entitlement to get a VA loan, no down payment in Cal City.
You said entitlement.
The survivor's benefits.
You've said that a couple of times now. Can you just give me a quick definition of what that entitlement means? Just if I you're explaining it to Joe Schmo off the street.
So the certificate of eligibility is like your
Is their
service
entitlement.
record.
Okay.
And it tells us everything. The entitlement that we're looking for is typically 25% of the conforming loan limit in the county. That goes towards insuring the loan. So that's the entitlement. And also if they're going to have survivor's benefits, right? Like if he's passed away, it's going to show on that certificate of eligibility if they have
That's where it shows.
yeah.
That's why it's important for you to see that right away, Fawn.
It is. That's my huge number one thing, and I can pull
Keep calling
that.
it a golden ticket.
It is
So
because
apparently it is your golden ticket
that holds your
to get your home
qualification.
Right?
Yeah,
I guess we should call that the golden. It is a golden ticket.
it is step one, I would say, and it's so easy for me to get. We just go to the VA portal and get it, so it's not like anything that
And do you help
holds
with
anyone
that
up. I do.
stuff, Fawn?
Yeah,
You do.
It's automated.
So it's automated. So you could have like a VA veteran come into your office and you guys can sit together and you can kind of log in there with them and get it right off the bat.
We can, and then in the cases where it's not automated, I'm an old dog, so I just pick up the phone and call HR, call their commanding officer, and they walk us through how to get it. Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't come automated. There are cases like that, but I'd say, 8 out of 10 times it's going to come up right away.
I have a question for you, Fawn.
Yes, ma'am.
So how long does it take for anybody to get VA veteran to get qualified? Like literally.
Same day approval.
Same day approval.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
come into your office with my certificate. I've got some bank statements.
You got your LES, your leave in earnings if you're active duty, pay stubs if you're a civilian. And yeah, I mean, I do pre-approvals. Of course, it depends on the day, but definitely by the end of the day.
Gotcha.
A lot of cases
turnaround time?
in like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, I've sat with you at your office a couple of times, and we've sat together with our clients, and within that meeting, you've got them pretty much wrapped up.
Right.
So
And then
easy.
you can they can see a breakdown of what the costs are, because obviously there are closing costs with any loan. Sellers can pay up to 4% plus non-allowables on a VA loan, which will help them actually get in with like $1 down.
Yeah, that's another one of my podcast future dates here.
great.
Is I want to get into some of the closing fees, some exceptions, some things that maybe some veterans can or cannot pay. I know some things have changed, and things do change. It seems to be for the better of the veteran. Would you say? So financing.
Absolutely. I mean, their service to our country is their down payment. They get this benefit. They should use it.
Use it.
It comes often. There's no mortgage insurance. That's the big thing. Is it's a product that doesn't require a down payment, and still you don't have that monthly mortgage insurance. And typically they're lower interest rates than any other loan type.
I would call that a huge benefit because that mortgage insurance for some of the other loan products that are out there, non-VAs, not very many people get that luxury of not having it unless you come in with a substantial money down, right?
Right.
Like any other regular loan. So that's another great, huge, I wonder if people even realize that. So here's another question. So what does that look like? What does that mortgage insurance look like a month? So I could see how much savings
It's thousands. So like, let's say if we were doing FHA on 450, let's say it's like $289 a month. There's none of that. And there is
so almost $300 a month?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
In our marketplace, that's in the mid fours, right? It gets higher as the loan amount goes up, of course.
Depending on the area. And we're still up here in the Antelope Valley. We're very pro-veterans. We all love our veterans out here.
Shout out to Edwards Air Force Base.
That's right. And not to mention all of the aerospace companies that we have that thrive in our community, that make our community better.
Right.
But I don't think that a lot of people realize that, Fawn, that those benefits, credit score, no mortgage insurance, those things are pretty huge. It takes a long time for somebody to save a couple $1,000s with a budget and family and bills and expenses. You need every little bit of savings you can help. And I don't know about you, but I don't know, close to $300, $250, $300 a month That's a nice dinner out with my family, or saving toward maybe a quick vacation somewhere. It's
Absolutely.
not just a couple dollars. Makes a difference. So
Absolutely.
nice. Very
We're here
good.
to get them the best deal they can get. So, I mean, it's just important for them to come in, get pre-approved, get that certificate of eligibility. They could save, once we see the certificate of eligibility, if they only have like a 10% service disability,
Gotcha.
they don't have a funding fee. So they save thousands on that.
So it, like you said, it really depends on what's on that certificate. And based on that certificate, you are extremely familiar with all of these different scenarios, whether
Correct.
it's 10%, 25% eligibility, all. I
Right.
think you've seen just about.
I've seen just about everything, which is why I like working with you, Marie, because we educate the veterans. There's so many, they don't know their own benefits. So it's important for us to let them know. And sometimes they've hooked up with other people that didn't understand the VA loan and put them into an FHA because they thought, for whatever reason, the appraisal was harder or whatever their preconceived notion was.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's any harder, Fawn. We've done together multiple VA loans.
Oh,
We have
absolutely.
a great success story that I want to share with you guys at the end of my third podcast series. But
Exciting.
it's like we made their dream come true, and they came in not even really knowing everything, and with a little bit of education, like you said, I think it's vitally important that they know.
Right.
And that was, I think, a little bit of reasoning of why I wanted to put a little bit of I am not a podcaster. This is my first podcast, but I feel that if we give this information out, we put it out there, we disseminate it, it's going to go. Somebody's going to hook onto it and say, you know what, I want to try that.
Yeah.
Do you guys think you could help? Here's my certificate of eligibility. Come on down the road.
We know how to use it. So that's the important part.
And educating, communicating. I have a tendency to over communicate. I think just in any transaction, whether we're doing a VA, a regular first time home buyer, or even somebody who's bought a couple of VA homes, who's moved from state to state, the way we buy and sell homes has changed drastically in the United States. So it's important to stay informed. And here's the other thing, Fawn. It's important to get the information from the correct person. For instance, you're going to go get your elbow surgery, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to go talk to the gardener and see which best procedure it is, right? You're going to go to the expert. You're going to go to a couple of specialists that specialize in that. So why would you venture off and get information, right, when you could call either one of us and get real factual information.
Right.
So
instead of listening to your brother's sister-in-law or
right, or just hearsay.
Whatever, yeah.
Oh, I heard that interest rates I heard the market's crashing. You know how many times I hear that? All the time. Oh, I heard prices are coming way down. I hear interest rates are coming way down. Here's an interest rate lady. Interest rates aren't falling the way people seem to think they are. The market
They're
isn't
not.
crashing the way people seem to think it is. That's why I say, just stay informed.
Right, exactly. And people want to know what their payment's going to be. Bottom line, over interest rate, over anything, they want to know what their payment's going to be. And what I love about VA loans, especially the active duty military, is we can use the military stipends to cover that. So their base income is this, but they get a base housing allowance of like, let's say $3,300 by moving when they go into Edwards. So that covers like the mortgage payment without even hitting their income.
When they get more allowance, is that where they get to the zero down?
It's not where they get to the zero down, but it helps their debt to income ratio, right? So because they have their base income, plus they have their like housing allowance, their substance allowance, that and that's non-taxable. So it's
and
pretty cool.
Everybody that is VA,
active duty. Yeah.
Active duty is eligible.
This is active duty that I'm talking about. Looking at their LAS statements, their leave and earning statements can can let us know. That's kind of like where I want to start. When I'm doing their eligibility, I look at their housing allowance and I'm like, wow, your housing allowance practically pays for the mortgage. Like maybe the mortgage is $3,600 and they get $33 for their housing allowance, So and it allows them to be off base and
do whatever they want, civilian stuff, and still be able to go back on base. So if they are eligible for the 3,300, right? That's what the base is giving them credit for, right? That's their
housing allowance.
That's correct. And their new mortgage is going to be, I don't know, what's a new, let's 37.
I say 35 to 38. 30, yeah.
Perfect. 35
Sometimes
to 38.
It's pushing 4 if they're in the 500s.
That credit would compensate for
exactly part of
almost 100% of your mortgage.
Almost.
Is that right?
It's close.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's
so many benefits, and that's what we want to get out there.
Exactly, those benefits. I don't know of any program out there that's doing that. I hear about grants and down payment assistance with a, minimal down or minimal interest, this and that. This is pretty big benefit.
Yeah, exactly. It is. I like to say there's no free lunch, meaning the grants have higher interest rates, stuff like that. A VA loan, it's just their service that's getting them all these benefits. So this one actually could be a free lunch, in
a literal sense. So, and we talked a little bit about the credit score, which you said is, because that's one of the
Department of
biggest
Veterans Affairs doesn't make it up. Yeah.
Everybody's always, well, no, I can't because I don't think I qualify because, I'm barely at a 550 or I have great credit. I just didn't know that I was eligible twice.
Right.
That's the other thing. So
and we get that with a lot of our Vietnam era people. They don't even know, they thought it expired. The VA benefit never expires.
Ever.
Never expires. You could be Korean War, like, just come see me. It's important.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Once a veteran, always a veteran. I love that.
Right.
And that eligibility really never goes away unless you die, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good. VA can build wealth as well because maybe a veteran's going to be here for active duty military. It's going to be here for 4 years, right?
Right.
And they want to buy 2 to 4 units. They can live in one of the units and rent out the other ones and cover their mortgage payment. How great is that?
Fantastic. That's for another. that's another episode topic here.
Throwing all these ideas out at you.
Absolutely.
I could go on with the VA loan forever. It honestly is one of my favorite loan products. Loan products are my jam, but VA is probably number one.
I know, and that's why I invited you here because I felt like everybody's celebrating the country's birthday. It's our 250th birthday. Proud to be an American. We love our red, white, and blue. Remax happens to be our red, white, and blue logo, which I love. But trying to give a little bit and educating some of our VA buyers, I think that's kind of my way of, it's free information.
Yeah.
Come check it out. It's not mandatory, but if you can benefit and get a little bit of information out of this podcast, maybe even a little something that you didn't know, then I've done my good deed and kind of helped someone understand. I'm always available. You can always reach me. You can always comment about anything that you might want to hear about in an upcoming. Speaking of upcoming, Fawn, I'm going to have you for the next one because I want to ask you to help us a little bit with the process from start to finish of how the VA works. I might even ask an escrow officer to join us because it's usually your real estate agent who writes the offer. Well, no, it starts with the loan officer who gets you approved.
It should start that way.
You've got a great real estate agent helping you. And then you've got an escrow officer that is like the intermediary that's kind of helping
the
us.
neutral third party. Yep.
Right, exactly. So, and then I also wanted to discuss with you some of the myths and fallacies about the VA loans on our next podcast. And some mistakes that some VA buyers, new and old, that they might be making and some things that maybe we could help them avoid some of these mistakes. So I think it might be another learning session. I hope that you could join me for the next one.
I would love that.
I always appreciate your knowledge.
Thank you.
You are always about helping your veterans. And I think that's one of the things that I love about you the most. And you were perfect for me to choose for my podcast.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
Fawn, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. And I think it'll be very, very beneficial for our VA buyers to come.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it.